With the angry national spotlight on Kolkata and what's happening in Bengal, the glare is also now on the other side of the country in Maharashtra, supposedly India's most prosperous state, where these are the scenes in the Mumbai suburb of Badlapur. This is in Thane district, where thousands of locals, citizens, non-political, people with no allegiances, people simply angry about what has happened in an English medium school in that particular town. Two young school children, 3 and 4 years old, little toddlers, were sexually assaulted inside the school toilet. When their parents found out that they had been sexually assaulted, they approached the police, and instead of recording a statement and filing an FIR immediately to begin the investigation, they got a criminal runaround by the police on the ground in Badlapur. The parents had to wait for 12 hours. They were taken to the school. No action was taken there. Glaring lapses were noticed on site at the school. Even then the police refused to register an FIR. And you know what, viewer? The parents of these two little children, who had been proven medically to be victims of sexual assault inside the school, had to then approach the district child and welfare department. Only after an official there called the police that an FIR was finally lodged, half a day, 12 hours after the parents actually approached the police station. This crime took place last week. Over the entire week, ever since the parents have been up in arms, the government has been aware of it. They've been, of course, busy with their eye fixed on the approaching Maharashtra elections. They've been, of course, under Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, drumming up the entire Ladli Behna scheme. Devendra Fadnavis, the Home Minister, has also been busy politically. But now they've all been forced to come out and actually add some pressure. Announce a special investigation team, transfer the senior police officials, suspend staff at the school, etc., only because of the kind of pressure that's been brought to bear by these huge crowds in Badlapur. Not because of the parents, not because of the media, not because of any action, but because of citizen power. Citizens simply fed up with the system that is aligned against victims, aligned against the people who are raped, aligned against the parents of small children. It's only this kind of action, this kind of resonance that forces action. And now the government wants to make you think, the Eknath Shinde government wants to make you think, yes, they've shown great alacrity. They've set up an SIT. Now the education minister has spoken out. Now they've reached out to the parents. What happened for a whole week is the big question. Take a look at this shameful story from Maharashtra.
This is what transpired just hours away from Mumbai.
This is the public outrage on what has happened in Badlapur.
Anger on the streets, and understandably so, after 2 girl toddlers were molested in their schools 2 weeks ago. And this is the monster who did it. The school janitor molested the 2 girls in the school campus and almost got away with it too. One of the victims confided to her parents and named the janitor. The parents immediately rushed the little girl to the doctor, who confirmed the sexual assault. But the school shockingly ignored the parents, making them wait for 3 hours. Even cops turned up and did not register an FIR. Finally, after 12 hours, an FIR was registered. The shocking lapses in cracking down on the accused has led to widespread outrage.
किस वजह से आप लोग आज प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं? क्या कुछ आपकी मांगे रहेगी?
सर, मेरे को ये बोलना है, जो मुख्यमंत्री लाड़की योजना निकाला है, अपनी बहन ही सुरक्षित नहीं है तो ये लाड़की योजना निकल के फायदा क्या? अगर ये हम लोग सुबह से 6 बजे से आंदोलन कर रहे हैं, कोई आमदार नहीं आया, कोई नगर सेवक नहीं आया, इसका मतलब क्या है? खासदार इधर का खासदार अभी ये आया है, तो उन लोग आ रहे क्यों नहीं? हमको न्याय मांगते हैं, हमको बाकी कुछ नहीं मांगते, हमको उनको फांसी देना ही है।
आरोपी को सुरक्षा दे रहे हैं, आप आरोपी को खाना खिला रहे हैं, और जो पीड़ित लड़की है उसके माँ को उसको उन्होंने स्टेशन पे बिठा कर रखा, उनको देखा नहीं है, उनको किसी छोटी बच्ची पुलिस स्टेशन में सो रही है उसको बिठा कर रखा, उसको न्याय नहीं दे रहे, और जो आरोपी है उसको खाना खिला रहे प्रशासन है।
खान बेटी, छोटी बेटी, सब बच्चे, सब स्कूल में छोटे छोटे बच्चे लोग जाते हैं। आज जो लड़की पीड़ित है वो आदमी को फांसी देना बहुत जरूरी है, उसको फांसी दो।
It took parents and residents hitting the streets for the school principal and the class teacher to be sacked. Protesters upped the ante as they staged a rail roko demanding that the accused be hanged for his crime and a fast-track court be set up.
Let me show you the visuals right now from the Badlapur railway station. Complete locals, everyone are protesting over here. Also in the Badlapur, I saw that all the shops are completely shut down.
The government has also promised all demands will be met, even as the opposition slammed the administration for failing to crack the whip.
जो बदलापुर की घटना हुई है वो बहुत ही गंभीर है। वहां पर जिस प्रकार से दो बच्चियों के साथ वहां के एक सफाई कर्मी ने एक प्रकार से कुकर्म करने का प्रयास किया या कुकर्म किया है, ये बहुत ही गंभीर इस प्रकार की बात है और हम इसकी बहुत ज्यादा निंदा करते हैं। और राज्य सरकार ने इस मामले में एक एसआईटी का निर्माण किया है। आईजी लेवल की महिला अधिकारी को एसआईटी का प्रमुख बनाया गया है। हमारा यह प्रयास है कि इस मामले की तुरंत जांच होकर और चार्जशीट भी जाए और फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट में इसको हम चलाने की कोशिश करेंगे ताकि जो पीड़िता है उनको एक प्रकार से उसमें न्याय मिल पाए, इस प्रकार का हमारा प्रयास होगा।
की कोणतेही राजकारण न करता लवकरात लवकर कारवाई झाली पाहिजे। ती कारवाई म्हणजे नुसतं अटक केली, गुन्हा दाखल झाला, वर्षानुवर्ष केस चालले, निकाल लागला, वर्षानुवर्ष केसवरती त्या निकालावरती अंमलबजावणी होत नाही, या सगळ्या गोंधळावरती आता एक जरब बसली पाहिजे, तर आणि तरच आपण आपल्या बहिणीला लाडकी बहीण म्हणू शकू।
Amid the outrage over the Abhiya rape case, it's clear even little girls are not safe. Even schools are also predator grounds. And it's clearly taking citizens coming out on the streets, making their voices heard for authorities to finally wake up to these ghastly crimes. With Saurav Vakhtania and Divyesh Singh in Badlapur, Bureau Report, India Today.
And here's what Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde had to say in the face of our questions on the inaction by the government and police so far in the Badlapur incident.
मैं सुबह ही पुलिस कमिश्नर से बात की। उन्होंने उनको पहले कहा कि पुलिस कमिश्नर को कि यहाँ पर जो आरोपी है उसको तो अरेस्ट पहले ही हो चुकी थी, उसके ऊपर जो सेक्शन है, पॉक्सो है, अटेम्प्ट टू रेप है, जो भी जितने भी कड़े कलम लगाने, सेक्शन लगाने, वो लगाने की मैंने सूचना दी हुई है। और इस केस को फास्ट ट्रैक में हम लेंगे, हम उसको स्पेशल पीपी अपॉइंट करेंगे और उसके बाद में इस केस को फास्ट ट्रैक चलाएंगे इस पूरे एविडेंस के साथ में। इस आरोपी को कड़ी से कड़ी, मतलब लोगों की मांग थी कि फांसी की सजा हो, तो हम फांसी की सजा की मांग करेंगे ताकि ऐसे कोई भी दूसरे आरोपी ने ऐसी हिम्मत नहीं करनी चाहिए, ऐसी कोशिश करने की। ये बड़ा हादसा है, ये दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना है। एक छोटी बच्ची जो है, ये उसके ऊपर ये बीती हुई घटना हुई है और इसलिए हमने पूरी तरह वो संस्था चालक जो है, स्कूल है, उसकी इंक्वायरी करने के लिए आदेश दे दिए। उनको भी अरेस्ट करने को कहा, जो दोषी है उसमें उनको अरेस्ट करने की सूचना दी, कार्रवाई करने की सूचना दी। पुलिस ने किसी ने लापरवाही की होगी तो उसकी भी इंक्वायरी करके कार्रवाई करने की सूचना दी।
Joining me live now is Priyanka Chaturvedi, Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament in the Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray Sena. I want to go across to her first. Priyanka, you've put out a tweet listing, as we have done so ourselves, the various lapses. And I want to go through them one by one because we've got live images on our screen right now of the protests. no action by the government, the Eknath Shinde government so far, has convinced any of the thousands of protesters that they should step off this protest. In fact, it has actually increased in the last 1 hour. You've heard what Eknath Shinde, the chief minister, also has said. But the main initial point of worry in this entire matter is the fact that the police didn't even immediately register a case. I'll come to the government aspects of it in my second question. But the fact that the police made the parents wait for nearly half a day before registering an FIR.
So firstly, thank you so much, Shivaru, for taking this up. Simply because an hour and a half earlier, India Today was saying mobs are attacking the school and how Eknath Shinde has got into action, how the Home Minister has got into action. But let me tell you, this is too little too late. You've already heard the people. You've already heard their outrage. You're already seeing them out there on the streets protesting for justice. Let me take you to the background. The incident happened last week. Of course, we are talking about the cops not registering. We'll now have to get to behind the reason why the cops are not registering this FIR. As it comes to light, the director of the school happens to be a BJP office bearer. He is the chairman of social welfare department of the BJP. The CCTV footage stands to be damaged in that school. The school was not the first one. The school did not come forward to register this complaint. It was the parents who did the medical examination done after the girls complained. And there is also reasons to believe that this person who was sexually assaulted and the accused is a history sheeter, is a known history sheeter. Yet he was employed by this school. So for the school, the police to delay this FIR, to delay this investigation, for the Home Minister to not seal the school premises till the investigation was carried out, for the Education Minister to not step up as soon as this crime is reported, all indicate towards a certain scenario where the government itself was found wanting. And that is the unfortunate part. I did not want to get into the politics of it, but I had, yesterday also had written to the president about the Shakti bill that we had passed in the assembly in 2021, just because they feel Uddhav Sahab Thackeray ji will probably get credit for coming up with a bill like this. They haven't pursued the president to give her assent to this important act, which would ensure stringent punishment, which would deter people from committing such crimes, which was giving a commitment from the state government that the speedy trial and speedy justice would be given to the girls. Within 15 days, investigation would be done. Within 30 days, the trial would begin in a separate court assigned only for, crimes against women and children.
In this particular case as well, and you say you don't want to get into the politics, but I believe that, politicians are there to effect change. So by all means, let's bring the politics into it, Priyanka. My question is, last week, the crime took place last week. It was over the weekend that things sort of started to happen after the first medical test, when the police was approached. Then, nearly half a day later is when the FIR was registered. It was only after the Child and Welfare Department of the district sort of was invoked, only then a FIR was registered. Only then the ball started rolling. My question is, at what point would the government must have known something was on? If there were well-connected people running this school, the government would have known long before any of this happened then.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you say that, yes, a politician should be speaking up on this, because we are the ones who are going to be making these changes. We expect accountability. And I'm glad you said this. So as far as this particular incident is concerned, the government of Maharashtra, which has allocated 200 crores of publicity budget for Ladki Behan Yojana, today it is the same women who are out on the street saying, we don't want your 1,500 rupees a month. Please give us justice for these girls. What is unfair to them is that they continue to say, oh, please, stop diverting trains and stop blocking trains. Go back to your homes. We will do justice to you. Now we formed an SIT. Now we've done this. Now we've done that. What we all doing till now? Why this delay in even ensuring that some kind of investigation takes place? So of course, there was influence. There was negligence. There was absolute zero political will to give justice to these to the two girls, and I believe there are several more girls who haven't actually come forward and spoken about their problems. But it goes on to show that today the people have been forced to hit the streets because they are not just outraged; they have given up hope from this government to do anything for the welfare of the women and welfare of the residents of Maharashtra, and their outrage in itself, their anger in itself, is an indicator of that.
And what is really worrying Priyanka, is, you've seen what's been taking place in Bengal, the anger and outrage over what's been taking place over there. It strikes me that the anger we're seeing in Bengal and the inaction, rather, forget about the anger for a moment, the inaction by the police and the administration, the authorities, the government that we're seeing that played out over the weekend happened at a time when the national mood is on crimes against women, is on the issue of rape. That's what makes this even worse, in my view.
Exactly. And considering Supreme Court took suo motu action on that particular incident, considering the public outrage and the public sentiment and public anger that is flowing out of what happened in West Bengal, goes on to show, and where the Supreme Court has come down heavy on that government, also says that it is the responsibility, it is the constitutional right of the women to get safety in workspaces. So these kids, these 4-year-olds, often we are told, please go at a time which is reasonable, step out of the house wearing decent clothes, go in safe zones, learn self-defense, that everything is a woman's responsibility to keep safe. Why is it that we're not asking these questions? When will the government take charge? When will the men take charge? And when will they be held responsible? When will, prosecution and execution of laws that are already in place ensure speedy justice for women? So when the Supreme Court has taken cognizance, we obviously are having a lot of report accusing the West Bengal government. Why is it that this government is being shielded in Maharashtra? And these were 4-year-old girls who felt that they are safer after their house, they're safe in their school environment. Yeah. And it is the very school which has let them down. They will have to live a life of not being able to have trust in anybody. And today the outrage is an indicator of exactly what is going wrong with governments, with their priorities as far as women's safety is concerned.
And, Priyanka, I remember even during the Nirbhaya case, over a decade ago, I remember you were very vocal at that time as well. It just strikes me as citizens to think that in a suburb of a city like Mumbai, we're still talking about the same things. Resistance to register FIRs, parents being given the runaround. This is, it would be bad enough if this were in some obscure, unconnected part of India. This is a suburb of Mumbai where this is happening. All the horrors and the ghosts of the Nirbhaya aftermath and all the changes that we wanted to see, it looks like the system hasn't changed at all. That's my message from this.
And I just say one thing as a staunch Mumbaikar who has been speaking about how Mumbai continues to be safe for its women. Today, that also stands challenged at the altar of the state politics. What also worries me is, and I'll just like to go back to Nirbhaya. Yes, we all outraged. Yes, we had stricter law. But her own family had to wait 7 years to get justice. 7 years is too long a time.
Yeah.
And that
Priyanka,
is where my problem emerges. We have laws.
Sorry to interrupt you, Priyanka. We're going to live images now. There's a lathi charge happening on the protesters on the train platform at Badlapur. We'll go back to Priyanka if she's still with us, but these are live images coming in. We're going to stay with this. Lathi charge of protesters and citizens at the Badlapur railway station. This is a brutal crackdown by the police there. After a rail roko that has continued for over a day now, crowds along the Badlapur railway station are being rained lathi blows on by the police there. Women and men police personnel with their lathis in a final crackdown on the protesters who have refused to budge. After action against the police for resisting a timely registration of an FIR after the setting up of an SIT by the Shinde government, the protesters are not happy at all. They've refused to move and the police has cracked down. There is stone pelting taking place as well. You can see stone pelting taking place. Saurabh Bhaktania is on the ground. Let's cut across to Saurabh. We'll get to Saurabh Bhaktania in just a moment. You can see stone pelting taking place, lathi charge on protesters at the Badlapur railway station. These are live pictures, viewers. You can see there is stone pelting taking place. The police is responding with heavy-duty lathi charge of the protesters there in an effort to get them to move and to call off this rail roko. angry Indian citizens in Badlapur over the lack of action by the police on ground to register a case and register an FIR after 2 little school kids were sexually assaulted inside their school toilet by a male janitor who has since been arrested by the police. A big escalation here at the Badlapur railway station. This is a suburb of Mumbai. It's just outside Mumbai in the Thane district. It's part of the Mumbai metropolitan region. And on India Today's cameras, you can see the police in a kind of final crackdown to get the crowds cleared. Divyesh Singh is with me live from the Badlapur railway station. Divyesh, big crackdown. We can see a lathi charge. We can see stone pelting also taking place.
After hours of convincing, hours of request by the Thane Police Commissioner, Thane Additional Commissioner and Minister Girish Mahajan, when the protesters did not budge, now police have resorted to lathi charge, but the protesters have also started pelting stones. Remember, they are on railway track and there are stones handy over there. They've started throwing stones on police officials and the people who gathered there. So they are resorting, they are protesting against police, they are protesting against the administration. But this lathi charge, this is the second time lathi charge is started or being started by police to disperse the crowd, because it's more than 8 hours now that the train services have been disrupted, have been stopped completely at Badlapur railway station. Trains are not going beyond Ambernath station, and also mail and express trains going from Mumbai towards southern India are completely disrupted. Some of the trains have been routed from Panvel, but most of the other trains have been cancelled. So this has affected people highly. Large number of people are affected, and in order to disperse the crowd, in order to pull up the protesters out of the track, police had called for additional sources, and now they've resorted to lathi charge. But the protesters have also launched an attack with the stones present on the railway track. Those are being thrown at the police officials. Police officials have also called for an SRPF battalion to maintain law and order, in order to disperse the crowd from the Badlapur railway station. Sure.
It looks like some of the crowds have been moved. It looks like some people are injured as well. This was a swift, pretty merciless lathi charge on protesters who had refused to move. I think the police had made attempts to verbally request the crowds to call off this rail roko that had been on for a long time, after which the police was given clearance to clear it using force, and that's why a lathi charge. It triggered a stone pelting episode as well, and hopefully things will be calmer at this point of time. But the protesters in no mood to call off their protest.